This video is designed to give you a sense of how to approach a gear ratio and to think about kind of the comparisons and all the other equivalents that happen with gear ratios. So you can think of a gear ratio as a number over 1 or compared to 1. Other things we can understand that is equivalent to is the N out over the N in. Essentially that's the number of teeth on the output, and then the number of teeth on the input gear. And that also would be equal to D out over D in, and D is the diameter. Moving on, if we don't know information about the diameter, but we do know the angular velocity or the speed, which would be measured in RPMs, we could look at this W in over the W out. Again, that's the angular speed or velocity. Think of that as RPMs. And we have one more option because in some scenarios you don't always have all the information to give you the answer right away. You kind of have to plug in some numbers. The final thing that they might provide you with, or we might know, is the torque of the output over the torque of the input. So if we kind of look at that, we realize that we have all those relationships to use as an example as we move forward. So if we were to plug in a sample problem here and run some numbers, it might look something like this. So we might have 3 gears in the configuration, and maybe we have A, and then we have B, and then we have C. So let's say that A, N, or the number of teeth, is going to be 8, and B, the number of teeth, is going to be 24, and C, the number of teeth, is 16. And it might ask you to run some numbers and figure out, if the output is at C, what's the gear ratio? Well, from what we know from the previous portion, looking at top, is gear ratio is going to be a number over 1. And what we do know is that the number of teeth of the output, so again, N, we'd have N out over the N in, or the number of teeth in the output over the number of teeth in the input. What we'd run into there is the output. We know that that is 16, and the input is over here, and that's 8. So we would simply have 16 over 8. So in this particular configuration, we would know that the gear ratio is a 2 to 1, and it's going to be a number compared to 1.